Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi.
My name's Toby.
And welcome to episode 37 of our AMA series. These questions were sent to us by our lovely CT Club members who have joined our Patreon group. If you'd like to support this channel and get access to things like classes, really helpful classes, especially if you're new to cryptocurrency, portfolio updates, see what we're doing with our cryptocurrencies, and trade alerts to see what the heck we're buying and why, and selling and why. So if you're interested in that, there's a link for the CT Club down below in the video description.
Yeah.
Ready for these questions?
Yep, let's do it.
So the first one, what are your thoughts on investing in ethically questionable projects with high growth potential, such as cryptocurrencies, which are highly centralized, closed source, or catered toward adoption by globalist lizard people? I think this is the most...
CBDC.
Yeah, central bank digital currencies. They pretty much fit to a T everything you're listing here except for the high growth potential, just because there's, you know, supposed to be stable coins, basically. Yeah.
It won't be stable either.
It'll be inflating.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Highly centralized, closed source, absolutely. They're going to want all the control possible over how that money functions, who has control over it. It's not going to be public. It's not going to be permissionless. It's
going to be the non-transparent thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. They're going to, and it's going to, you know, envelop your entire life. How you get paid is going to be in that currency. Where you can spend it is going to be determined by that currency. It's programmable money, right? It's not just fiat at this point. They're taking the beautiful idea of Bitcoin and blockchain technology and turning it into...
Taking a poop on it.
Just like how Satoshi turned, you know, created the most free way and secure way for money to function. They're taking that idea and turning it into the complete opposite, as controlled as possible, as traceable as possible, as conforming as possible. So yeah, like, you know, they're gonna be able to control when you get paid, when you can pay things. China, the Chinese yuan, they're talking about putting an expiration date on it.
To increase spending so that
when
people can buy stuff.
Yeah. So they can't save it. Literally, if you save your money, it's going to be worthless. Not just like over time through inflation, but literally you can't spend it if you wanted to.
If you haven't realized this by now, but governments suck. Yeah, anyways, let's go.
Yeah, so thoughts on investing in those questionable projects? In my opinion, at some point, it's not going to be an option. You're going to be forced into that system. And that's why we think there's going to be two different worlds of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be those that actually participate in this garbage and poison. And there's those that, like us, that are just want nothing to do with it, that will be able to trade freely with cryptocurrencies. And that's what is actually happening around the world right now. People are accepting more and more cryptocurrencies. To put this in perspective, back when I started, there wasn't anybody taking cryptocurrencies, all right?
Yeah,
and then it started with VPNs, and then it started with like our lawyer took you know, Bitcoin, and then finally, you know, we're seeing like Amazon will eventually adopt Bitcoin, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing is that Bitcoin was released to the world 12 years before anything like a central bank digital currency could have ever come into existence. So there's millions and millions of people who have had experience with how money can work in a really free way. And the CBDCs are going to be like black and white compared to that. So
yeah, it's kind of like
they're going to out themselves basically trying to play with this group.
It's like visiting a beautiful city. And you know, you've experienced this beautiful city for 10 or 12 years, and then you're placed into a dump.
And they're like, no, it's a city, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you have to live here.
It's so funny, the comparison.
You have to live here, and this is the best option for you.
Yeah, so that's just, yeah. Anyways, don't trust anything governments are doing. They're all a bunch of lying sacks of poop, and you know, like that's why we are here. You know, that's why people invest in Bitcoin and not dollars, because they understand how much currency being printed and blah blah blah.
It's like going from Lisbon to Duma.
Oh yeah. If you haven't, here's a little story. The worst place I've ever experienced was a little city. It's a border town in Tanzania, on the southern border. It's called Tunduma, and it lived up to its name. It's a doom.
Doom.
It's doom. Oh my gosh, I hated it.
The kicker is Toby had to go there twice.
Oh man, if you want to hear the story about that, I'll tell you that later.
Yeah,
but
let us know in the
one.
comments if
Sure.
you want to know any of our travel
All
stories.
right, let's get back to this.
Okay, next question. What do you think? The more we lend our crypto on platforms like Binance, Celsius, BlockFi, etc., the more we are offering our coins to borrowers who are shorting the market using our own coins. Works the same way on a stock exchange. Your broker lends your shares to the shorter, and I think I will keep them all in a cold storage instead. On a stock exchange, the only way to make sure your shares were not being used for shorting was to ask for your share certificates to be sent to you. Same as crypto cold storage. What do you think? For AMA maybe. Thanks for all that you're doing. Basically he's saying the question is, what do borrowers, institutions, clients of Celsius, BlockFi, etc., what do they do with borrowed crypto? Do they short? When I see a crypto interest rate going up, like very recently for Bitcoin on Celsius and Binance, I expect a price drop. Now, full disclosure, this question was sent in about 2 weeks ago. We get, every time I send out a call out for our AMA questions, we get now like well over 100 questions. So it takes us some time to get through them all.
But
so
they're
this
still
one was
relevant.
this one was sent 2 weeks ago, but it's a really important thing to understand and to pay attention to now, actually, is like, maybe that could be your edge of paying attention to that metric and see what the price does. But it is interesting because, okay, here's short. Here's what a short position is. I'm going to read it off so I don't mince my words. A short position is a practice where an investor sells a stock that he or she doesn't own at the time of selling. Basically, they have borrowed it. The investor does so by borrowing the stock from some other investor on the promise that the former will return the stock to the latter on a later date.
So that person wants the stock to go lower. The person that has borrowed that stock wants the price to go lower so that they can pay it back at a lower price.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing with cryptocurrencies, and people leverage their positions on that, which means they're borrowing against that position as well. So, you know, it can get pretty dicey and pretty, like, I never ever want to do this because, first of all, I don't ever want to bet that the price of Bitcoin is going to go down.
Yeah.
So.
Because the room of it going down is minuscule compared to the potential price
potential.
Increase.
Yeah.
So, like, you're always saying it's like.
Yeah, it's like picking pennies in front of a steamroller.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely insane why anybody would want to short.
And how much stressful is it? Like you
exactly.
Just chill and hold.
Why would you do that? Like when you know that the most profitable wallets in the world are literally the ones that have never that the owner of those keys they lost the keys. Those are the deceased. Yeah. Those are the best, most profitable wallets in the world.
Who, despite their best efforts, can't access their cryptocurrency to make a bad decision with them, are the best performing.
It is. That's very true. So it's not the traders. Yeah. Trust me, it's not the traders.
Yeah.
So.
So just to, I know that especially for those of you who are new to investing in general, this concept of shorting, it can be kind of confusing. So just to really lay it out. It's like if Bitcoin, as let's say a round number, so it's easy, Bitcoin's at $10,000. Would you buy Bitcoin if it was at $10,000? I think so. Anyway, Bitcoin's at $10,000.
I would sell this computer.
And I borrow 1 Bitcoin from Toby. I sell it on the open market. I get $10,000. I still owe Toby 1 Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin goes down to $5,000, I just have to spend $5,000 to pay Toby back,
and
I earn I make $5,000. But what happens when prices start going up instead of down? So if I need to pay Toby back and Bitcoin went to $20,000, I am losing $10,000.
Well, you need to keep.
And
you
have to
$10,000.
Yeah, depending on the agreement of the contract for the short is, if the price goes up, I have to cover my position. It means I have to buy Bitcoin.
And that's if you haven't taken out any leverage. Say you have 2x leverage, then you owe $20,000.
Yeah.
And then it can go up from there. Like Binance has what, 50x?
Oh, not anymore. They've limited it down to 20.
Oh.
Because regulations.
20x. Crazy. Yeah. Like, nah. That's just not for me.
So that's why shorting is stupid, because you could have just held Bitcoin and made money rather than trying to bet against the market. You don't know really what's going to happen.
Exactly. I mean, how greedy do you need to be? Like, seriously. Yeah. I mean, if you understood, like 2 years ago, Bitcoin, or under 2 years ago, Bitcoin was at $3,600 and it went to $65,000. Like, how many X's is that? What do you need? Like, what do you need in life? It's pretty good, you know. You put $1,000 in, you killed it. Like, yeah. So.
And not to mention, like, are you really looking at it like that's your only trade you're gonna do? Is that like you're just gonna be involved in this market for 6 months and that's it? Like, if you have a longer-term perspective, you can be so much more profitable, and by being conservative as well, because you have time on your side. So. Anyway, we cover that and a lot others in our most recent class on our Patreon group in the CT Club, talking about investment plans. So if you guys are new to investing in period and you don't know how to assess your risk, you don't know how to invest in cryptocurrency that ranges in terms of risk, there's a lot of different ways to make money. Some of them are far more risky than others. I highly recommend you check out that class. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode.
Yeah.
What do you got to say?
Stay disobedient. Don't follow the sheep. Follow us instead. You better like this video.
Yeah.
And you better subscribe if you haven't. And also, you know, I think that don't try to time this market. I know we're, like, right now we are experiencing a pretty high, you know, upswing in the market.
Yeah.
So just relax and take your time. And if you want to find out what we are doing, we literally do trade alerts within 5 minutes of us trading. And, you know, it helps guide people along. I understand that this market is sometimes really confusing. You don't know why things are going up or down. I can kind of see what's going on just because I have a lot of friends in the industry, which is great. And, you know, we are all constantly sharing ideas with each other. So I think it's really healthy, and I think it's smart to have a community behind you.
Absolutely.
So go check out our Discord as well.
Yeah, we have a community just for you.
Yeah.
Discord, our server is Crypto Tips. There's a link to join the public channels down below in the video description. If you are a Patreon member and you want to join our Discord and gain access to the exclusive channels just for Patreon members, you're going to have to connect your Discord to your Patreon account, and I have links posts that show you how to do that. If you just search Crypto Tips Discord, basically, the posts will come up. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you.